Hello, Lacrosse fans, and welcome back to the Hawk's Nest. Tamalpais Lacrosse 2021. And today, lock that. Welcome back, everybody. Sorry for that technical disruption. Once again, 2021 Tamalpais Lacrosse coming to you from TAM TV from the Hawk's Nest. And today the matchup is between two of the two foundational high schools here in Marin County, 1 and 2. San Rafael being the first high school and Tamalpais being the second established here. And today the Bulldogs are in their proud red uniforms looking ready to play, and the Hawks are wearing their home color white. Conditions are a little cooler today than they have been prior in the week, but still a great atmosphere for a competitive lacrosse match. It's currently 54 degrees, overcast, with slight precipitation in the air. It feels like it's about 46 because the breeze coming off the Richardson Bay. Both of the teams are huddled up with their pregame announcements, and the coaches bringing them together on strategy. Today for the Hawks, our head coach is Taylor Spray, with her assistant coach is Charlie Walter. Our athletic director here at Tamalpais is Christina Amoroso, and our principal is J.C. Farr. And for the Bulldogs, their head coach is Jeremy Burnett. The athletic director is Jose De La Rosa, and the principal at San Rafael High School is Glenn Dennis. The referees have already done the stick check. So I'm going to make an announcement of some senior players in acknowledgement of their service for Tamalpais High Lacrosse. So today on the field of the senior roster, we've got number 1, Quinn Rothwell. You could see Quinn on any position on the field except goal, but I expect we'll see her on the attack today. Stella Walters, number 4, is a senior. Stella will be probably midfield or attack, but gifted at defense as well. Lillian Flynn, number 8. Lillian with a couple of exciting goals 2 days ago against Terra Linda. Lillian will be either in midfield or on attack. Maggie Griffiths we'll see at midfield. She's number 9. Phoebe Merriman, number 13. We'll see her at midfield and possibly attack or defense. We also have Cassie Kelly, number 20. We have number 21, Sam Smith. And those are our seniors. Oh, I'm sorry I forgot one, and how could I forget this one? Kaylee Morris, number 23. Kaylee had a strong showing against Terra Linda, and we'll expect to see her at midfield or on attack today for the Hawks. For the San Rafael Bulldogs, we've got one senior, Ruby Job, number 12. So a young team for San Rafael. No hesitance in the Bulldogs cheer as they break the pack and head out on the field. The Hawks have already started to distribute. And it looks like, to me, on attack, we'll see starting for the Hawks, Kendra Weissman. Quinn Rothwell, Phoebe Merriman, and Lillian Flynn. In the face-off circle right now, it's Maggie Griffiths. And on the outside, we see Sam Smith and Annie Shine. On defense for the Hawks, let's see, it looks like we've got... It looks like Emma Palmer on the outside. I want to say Graciela Hale. The girls are turned side, so I can't see all the numbers. Anyways, off we are to the races. Game has started. The Hawks won the face-off. Phoebe Merriman at the 12-meter line going to the 8. Shoots for the goal and missed it to the right side. Untouched by the Bulldogs. So Tamalpais will maintain possession. And Lillian Flynn's taking it from the back line. And she's crossing at the 8-meter. Lillian's looking to shoot, and in she goes. Lillian Flynn with the icebreaker for the Hawks. A nice goal. And it's 1-0 Tamalpais. Our broadcast, our global reach at TAM TV would not be possible without the generous sponsorship of the TAM Boosters and the TAM High Foundation. We thank them for their support of this event today. So we're back in the face-off. The referee will be setting. Mary Healy on the face-off against Maggie Griffiths. Griffiths wins the face-off, and she recovered it. She's passing up to Phoebe Merriman. Merriman around the 12-meter, hovering, looking for someone to go to, and she's going to try and take it in and do it herself, and she does. And a score for the Hawks, 2-0. Phoebe Merriman on the high right side. As the referee sets, I just want to mention the word bravery. It's defined by a girl who's brave enough to be in the goal in a lacrosse game. And that's number 27, Ella Murphy for the Hawks, and Natalia Davidson for the Bulldogs. So there's a call on the face-off, and the Hawks have it. And that's gone to Annie Shine. Annie Shine to Phoebe Merriman. Merriman with a low shot goes past the goal. And it looks like the Hawks may maintain possession. Lillian Flynn taking it from the back line once again. Flynn moves from her position, looking for opportunity, comes across, looking to shoot, but she tosses it out. I believe that's to Kendra Weissman. Weissman takes a shot, but it bounces back. It was a nice save by Natalia Davidson. That goes back to Merriman. Merriman's to Shine. Annie Shine working it around. Back to Phoebe Merriman. Merriman tried to shoot, and I think she drew the shot foul. So she'll be taking it from the 8-meter line for the Hawks. Merriman with a sneaky little low roll, and that one snuck by Natalia Davidson. So Phoebe Merriman, the senior, with her second goal on the penalty. So the score is 3-0 Tamalpais. In the face-off circle again, Maggie Griffiths, Annie Shine, and Sam Smith on the outside. In the Bulldogs, it was Ruby Job on the face-off. Bulldogs almost recover. Sam Smith picks it up for Tamalpais. She's heading into the attack zone. Tries to go north-south. Her shot was obstructed and went over the back of the goal. I believe Tamalpais will maintain... Nope, it was touched, and so Sandra Fell has possession of the ball. Natalia Davidson back behind her goal. Quinn Rothwell on defense. Davidson clears it out. And a pass across that was intercepted by Tamalpais. That was an attempt to get to Tenley Bravelli for the Bulldogs. Quinn Rothwell now has it for the Hawks. Rothwell to Annie Shine. Annie looking for opportunity. She's rotating left and right. And she passes it off to Sam Smith. Sam Smith at the 8-meter. Looks like she's going to shoot, but backs away. Back to Annie Shine. Annie moving it. Now to Quinn Rothwell. Rothwell goes around the back and passes it to Phoebe Merriman, who's an X. Merriman now comes into the attack zone. And again, the sneaky low roller for a hat trick for Merriman. And it's 4-0 Hawks. Well, that was a clever low roll by Merriman. I doubt a third one will get by Davidson. Face-off circle again. Ruby Job for the Bulldogs. Maggie Griffiths for Tamalpais. On the outside, Sam Smith and Annie Shine once again for the Hawks. That one goes out to the side. And Jasmine Luria follows Sam Smith, but Smith takes it up and clears to the outside to Quinn Rothwell. Rothwell behind the Bulldogs' goal. Passes to X. Behind the goal, Lillian Flynn. Flynn and Rothwell switch positions. Flynn coming across. She's sweeping back and forth, looking for the goal. Back to Rothwell. Rothwell to Griffiths. Griffiths approaches, and tough resistance by the Bulldogs. That was Ruby Job, but Griffiths draws the foul. Maggie Griffiths will be taking a penalty shot from her 8-meter line. Griffiths heads toward the goal, and a low shot up. Nope, a shot over the right shoulder of Natalia Davidson. So that's 5-0 Tamalpais. Back to the face-off. And it's Ruby Job and Maggie Griffiths once again. Ruby Job and Griffiths jostling for the ball. And Job picks it up. It falls out. Fell out again. Tamalpais took possession. Smith picked it up and cleared it out to the side to Lucy Hexamer. Hexamer all the way along the right side, back behind the San Rafael goal, and Hexamer clears it to Quinn Rothwell. Rothwell coming across the goal. A lot of defense by San Rafael. Rothwell looking for an opportunity, out to Kendra Weissman. Weissman back behind the goal to Hexamer again. Hexamer passes it out to Griffiths. Griffiths sends it in, trying to get to Annie Shine, but that pass is obstructed, and San Rafael has it. They're trying to clear it out, and San Rafael draws the foul. That was Jasmine Luria for the Bulldogs. Luria takes her penalty, cuts through 3, 4, 5 Tamalpais players, and passes it off. And it looks like San Rafael drew another foul. Jasmine Luria once again with the ball in her net. Be attempting to set an offensive attack here for the Bulldogs. Luria looking. Well defended by Hexamer and Weissman. She passes to a player in the clear, which is Sarah Martizic. Martizic trying to get through for the Bulldogs. The ball comes loose, and Quinn Rothwell picks it up for the Hawks. Rothwell spinning around the outside. Well defended by Cadence Ardell. Rothwell back to Palmer. Palmer to Rothwell. Now Rothwell goes into the attack zone. And she gets that into, I believe, was Lucy Hexamer for a goal. 6-0 Hawks. 25-minute halves here in girls lacrosse, and we are at 18:35. Tamalpais, and that's Weissman to Maddie Smith, the sister of Sam Smith, and Maddie with her first goal of the game. Maddie's first game of the season was earlier in the week against Terra Linda, and she arrived on the pitch with thunderous cheers from her teammates. So glad to see her back on the field after some out time with an injury. Back to the face-off circle, and Ruby Job and Maggie Griffiths once again. Looks like Jane Stanley on the outside for the Bulldogs on one side. So Tamalpais wins the face-off. Smith to Annie Shine. Annie Shine heading right towards the San Rafael goal. And Shine immediately draws the shot foul. So Annie Shine will take a penalty from her 8-meter line. Unobstructed once the whistle starts, and Annie Shine puts it in over the left shoulder of Davidson. The score is 8-0 Hawks. Back in the face-off. Griffiths wins it. Shine picks it up. Shine back to Griffiths. Griffiths circling around to the back. Behind her goal to Hexamer in X. Back to Maddie Smith. Maddie Smith back to Lucy Hexamer. And they're playing a little catch back there behind the San Rafael goal, waiting for something to break open in front of the crease. Sam Smith shoots across. And with a spectacular shot over the back of her shoulder. A very tricky shot by Sam Smith. And the score is 9 Tamalpais. San Rafael scoreless. Kendra Weissman coming off the field, and on for the Hawks comes Shelby Capetta. She'll be going into attack on the left side for the Hawks. Back in the face-off circle, Maggie Griffiths once again against Ruby Job. The Hawks win that face-off. Sam Smith recovers it, and Smith heading right over to the San Rafael goal. She passes that out to Shelby Capetta. Capetta back to Smith. Smith to Shine. Shine to Smith. Smith back to Shine. Annie Shine going right for the goal. Low shot. Davidson with a foot save. Annie again picks it up, and it goes over the goal. That should be Tamalpais possession because it does not look like it was touched. Yep, Lucy Hexamer taking it in for Tam for the back line. Passes to Maddie Smith. Maddie Smith back to Hexamer. Hexamer, some good movement. Back to Maddie Smith. Maddie Smith to her sister Sam with a good shot, a low shot. Great block by Davidson. Smith picks up the reflection, and Tamalpais maintains possession. Annie Shine moving back and forth. Oh, Maddie Smith takes a tumble in front of the crease. And it looks like the Bulldogs will take possession. Hexamer guarding on the back. And that was Tenley Bravelli taking it in for the Bulldogs. But Tamalpais has taken possession. Oh. And Maddie Smith a pass to Annie Shine. Annie Shine out to Lillian Flynn. Lillian Flynn back to Lucy Hexamer in X. Hexamer out to Maddie Smith. Maddie Smith to Maggie Griffiths. Ball falls out, goes on the ground. Griffiths recovers. Now she goes on attack. And it looks like Griffiths gets the shot foul from her 8-meter line. The senior will have a moment unopposed. She runs towards the goal. A shot. Good block by Davidson. The Hawks get the better of the deflection. And Lillian Flynn working on the right side of the goal. Sees Annie Shine coming in, and a beautiful goal. Flynn to Shine. And that makes it 10, Tamalpais. The Bulldogs still scoreless. And a timeout has been called. This next moment is sponsored by Silence. And thank you to that sponsor for that moment of silence. The Hawks Nest and TMTV would like to say hello to all our global affiliates tuning in today to watch this match. We appreciate your attendance. Both teams circled up to hear their coaches. Jeremy Burnett talking to his Bulldogs. And Taylor Spray having a conference with the Hawks. Sticks together for the Hawks. We hear their cheer and they distribute onto the field. Bulldogs still have a few more words. And the Bulldogs with their cheer, and they separate from the circle, and the players take the field. And it looks like we got Maddie Smith in the face-off circle to take the face-off for the Hawks. And Ruby Jobe once again for the Bulldogs. Looks like Jasmine Luria on the outside. And I believe Francesca San Diego for the Bulldogs. The Hawks win it. Sam Smith distributes. Lillian Flynn back behind the goal. And in for Maddie Smith. The ball gets loose. And Kaylee Morris picks it up for the Hawks. Morris in. A nice pass. That was intended. Annie Shine's got the ball now. That cross pass was intended for Hexamer, but it didn't come together. Another nice pass, and that was to Kaylee Morris, the senior, with a nice goal over the left side of the crease. That's 11 Tamalpais. And the Bulldogs still waiting for their icebreaker. Noelle Tober takes the field for the Hawks. And off comes Stella Waters. Same lineup in the circle. Annie Shine and Sam Smith on the outside. Maddie Smith on the face-off. Smith wins the face-off and picks up her own face-off after it bounces around a little bit. She's moving across towards the defense. Maddie Smith moving through. Oh, the ball gets loose. Well defended by San Rafael. That looks like Ruby Job and Jasmine Luria on defense. But the Hawks get the call. They move it forward. And Sam Smith gets it, passes it back to Annie Shine above the 12-meter line. Back to Maddie Smith. Maddie Smith to her sister Sam. Inside pass to Hexamer. Hexamer to Flynn. Flynn in the X. Flynn coming out around outside. Sees Morris right in front. And Kaylee with her second. Senior to senior. Lillian Flynn to Kaylee Morris. Nice to see. Tamalpais and San Rafael awaiting their first score. And now in the face-off circle, I think we see Kaylee Morris for Tamalpais. Yes, it was. Morris wins the face-off. Sam Smith recovers. Smith sends it over to Annie Shine. Annie moving towards the 12-meter, right towards the 8. And she fires it to the outside. And I think that's to Lillian Flynn in the X. It is. Lucy Hexamer. Hexamer and Flynn playing catch behind the San Rafael goal. Flynn looking for opportunity. Now back to Hexamer. Hexamer to Flynn. Good movement on the ball by Tamalpais. This is how opportunities in the game of lacrosse happen. Back and forth. Flynn inside. And that was a hard shot, Shelby Capetta, but a nice block by Natalia Davidson for the Bulldogs. Davidson tries to clear it, but it gets intercepted by Lillian Flynn. A sharp play. Flynn into Annie Shine. Annie Shine at the 12-meter. She's moving left to right. Looking for a friend to pass to, and she finds Lucy Hexamer. Hexamer out to Kaylee Morris. Morris out to Shelby Capetta. Capetta to Flynn. And Flynn passes it to Zadie Foskett. Foskett to Flynn. Flynn has it behind the goal. Out to Hexamer. Hexamer to Flynn. Flynn back to Hexamer. Hexamer looking for a streaker. She sees Sam Smith. Sam with a hard low shot. Bounces off Davidson's foot. Nice save by San Rafael. And Lillian Flynn picks up the rebound behind the goal. Back to Lucy Hexamer. On the left side, Hexamer circles around with a button hook and puts it right in over the right shoulder of the San Rafael goalkeeper. So the score for the Hawks, 13 for Tamalpais. Emma Palmer takes the field and relieves Sam Smith. And it looks like we'll have Kaylee Morris taking the face-off again. On the outside circle, Annie Shine and Emma Palmer for Tamalpais. Once again, I think it's that was Ruby Job on the face-off for San Rafael. And San Rafael draws a penalty. So Ruby Job will lead the penalty for the Bulldogs. They are in Tamalpais' goal zone. Job out to San Diego. San Diego outside to Mary Healy. Healy draws a foul. The referee repositioning Healy on the field, and she'll start the penalty for San Rafael. Still outside the 12-meter. Healy looking for teammate to pass to. The ball comes loose, hits the turf, and Annie Shine picks it right up, passes it to Lillian Flynn at the 50-yard line. And Flynn streaking towards the goal. Flynn sees Zadie Foskett, and Zadie Foskett puts it in for the Hawks. Zadie Foskett, the freshman, is welcomed with cheers from her teammates after she put that ball in the net. And a nice goal. Just a reminder, folks, the Tamalpais Valley Ornithological Society Bird of the Month is the snowy egret. The proud snowy egret is distinguished from its close cousins, the Catalan common egret, because it has bright yellow feet, which can be seen on this wading bird at this time of year here in Richardson Bay. A beautiful thing to see. And another face-off. Morris wins it, but Sanderfeld deflects it. Oh, and it looks like we've got a whistle. Annie Shine got the penalty. I think maybe a stick might have hit her visor. Shine out to Morris. Morris to Palmer. Palmer working it around to Foskett. Foskett to Flynn. Flynn to Hexamer. Hexamer to Morris. And Kaylee Morris with her hat trick for the senior. And it's 15. Tamalpais, San Rafael waiting their first. Kaylee Morris again in the face-off circle, facing Ruby Job. Oh, a double jump. That one was almost an even, but Morris picks it up. And out she comes, looking for opportunity. She sees Annie Shine. Annie Shine sees Palmer streaking across, and a great save by Davidson on the clear. Oh, the ball gets away, and Palmer picks it up. And she sees Zadie Foskett in front of the goal. A high pass, but Foskett brought it down and scored at the feet of Davidson. So it's 16, Tamalpais. 5:48 left in the half. 25-minute halves here in Lacrosse. And we've got Job and Morris in the face-off circle again. On the outside is Palmer and Shine for Tamalpais. And Tamalpais wins it. The ball comes loose. Contact with Shine. She's taking the penalty. Shine moves it forward. And Shine passes to Carson Can, who's on the field for the Hawks. That was out to Flynn, back into Shine, but Davidson with a nice save. Carson Can bringing it in. She sees Palmer. Palmer out to Shine. Shine goes inside. And that was a nice goal for the Hawks. That was Lucy Hexamer coming around for her second goal. 17, Tamalpais. Referee setting nets in the face-off circle. Once again, it's Job Morris. Here we go. Face-off. Morris wins it, but Job intercepts it. And a nice job by the Bulldogs. She's trying to get across, and I think she's going to draw a foul for that. And that's going to be an indirect, I think. Or is it a shoot? Nope, it's a shooting foul for Sandra Fell. So here's an opportunity. And it's for Ruby Job. Oh, well defended. And I think we're going to see a card, a yellow card for Annie Shine. She's going to take a little break. And the Bulldogs will be a player up for the next 2 minutes. Mary Healy taking the field for the Bulldogs, giving a rest to Piper Pomeroy. So Ruby Job from her 8-meter line. Job, I sure wants to score, and she does. So an icebreaker for San Rafael. Ruby Job with the icebreaker for the Bulldogs. Job taking a break. She's relieved by Piper Pomeroy, who just came off the field for the Bulldogs, but Piper's back on. Coach Burnett moving his players around, making a little bit of a shift, moving some players out of the defensive zone and up. We see a new player in the face-off circle for the Bulldogs. And that looks like number 28, Sarah Martisic. Martisic, a sophomore for the Bulldogs. And she'll be facing off against the senior Kaylee Morris for Tamalpais. The referee sets. Here we go. And that is an even draw, but Morris grabs it out of the sky. Oh, the ball gets loose. And Sanderfeld gains from the turnover. Streaking up the right side is number 11, Cadence Ardell. And the ball bounces out of Ardell's net, and it's recovered by Tamalpais. And that looks like Kersey Harris that was on the outside for Tamalpais, and she cleared it up and did a good job. Oh, a cross for Carson Can. And Carson Can wins the shot foul. So Carson Can from the 8-meter for the Hawks. Carson Can with a shot, but a block by Davidson. Davidson twirling it in her net. Referee directing Can to go behind the goal. And Davidson with a big clear, but it misses the net of her teammate, so Tamalpais recovers. And Noelle Tober gets it to Annie Shine. Shine goes outside to Morris. Morris to Palmer. Back to Morris. It hits the ground. Morris recovers. Morris goes outside to Can. Can back to Annie Shine. Shine back to Morris. Morris passing to Annie Shine again. Shine moving across to the left. Sees an open player. That looks like Hexamer, but the ball hits the ground and Sanderfeld recovers. And that's the end of the first half. The score, Tamalpais 17, Sanderfeld with 1 goal. Here in the Hawks Nest, we never forget the support of the TAM Boosters and the TAM High Foundation for making this TAM TV broadcast possible. On score today is Kristen Merriman, working the scoreboard here at Tamalpais High School. We want to thank our technical crew here today who have been absolutely fantastic. Iona Scobie, Zach Naderman, and Derek Scobie. We can't thank you enough for making this broadcast possible for TAM TV. Also assistance with video is Karen Smith. She's up on the roof of the Hawk's Nest, capturing all this at a field view for all of you viewers out there. We thank you, Karen. It's not a warm day, so we need to make sure that Karen's warm enough. Possibly the scorekeeper could find a coffee for Karen during the laps in play. We don't want anybody shutting down from hypothermia here in the Great North. And we are back to the second half of lacrosse here at Tamalpais High School in Mill Valley, California. It's 52 degrees. Our air quality index shows us at 53 moderate. Our relative humidity is 79%. Chance of rain 10%. There's a west-south wind, west-southwest wind of 15 miles per hour, and it feels like 48, but I'm going to say 47. 29.9 in high pressure, 9-mile visibility. The UV index is 3. And the Tamalpais Valley Ornithological Society bird of the month, once again, is the snowy egret. This TAM TV broadcast would not be possible without the generous and kind support of the Tam High Foundation and the Tam High Boosters. So Coach Taylor Spray and her Tamalpais Hawks take the field for the second half. And against Coach Jeremy Burnett's Bulldogs. And it looks like Ruby Job in the face-off circle again, and Maggie Griffiths. That is on the outside of the circle. Sam Smith gets it, hits the ground. Griffiths picks it up, and she's defended by Ruby Job. Back shine sees Phoebe Merriman on the right side. Merriman passes it way up to Lillian Flynn. Lillian Flynn on the far right sees Quinn Rothwell in X behind the goal. Rothwell spinning it around. She comes out and presents to Sam Smith. Smith out to Shine on the right side. Shine out to Weissman. As the ball hits the ground, Weissman recovers. Almost trips up, but recovers. In the X is Phoebe Merriman behind the goal. She sees Lillian Flynn. Flynn comes out to Maggie Griffiths. Griffiths to Smith. Smith to Rothwell. And Weissman in X. Weissman sees Merriman. Merriman back to Annie Shine. Annie Shine on the inside to Smith. Smith does twirl around, but good defense. There might have been a stick to the head. And unfortunately for San Rafael, Ruby Job drew the card. So the Bulldogs will be a player down for the next 2 minutes. And Sam Smith will be taking a direct penalty for a shot lane foul. And she pulls back of the circle and loops it out to Annie Shine. Annie Shine looking, sees Weissman on the left side. Weissman to Merriman in X. Merriman doesn't handle the ball but recovers. Picks it back up. Merriman looking, making some calls, sees Flynn. Flynn out to Griffiths. Griffiths to Sam Smith. Smith looking. Great stick work by Sam Smith. Out to Kendra Weissman. Weissman looping around. Oh, sees Griffiths on the inside, and oh boy. Maggie was right in the front of the goal, but I don't think she could turn her body fast enough to get it in, so she controls it, gets it behind, out to Merriman. Merriman to Rothwell. Rothwell to Merriman. Merriman out to Shine. Annie Shine on the inside, looking for Smith. It bounces over, but Weissman recovers. Griffiths on the outside to Flynn. Flynn to Rothwell. Rothwell bobbles, but picks it up. Rothwell back to Griffiths. Back to Sam Smith. Smith to Merriman. Merriman to Rothwell. Rothwell to Flynn. Lillian Flynn, the senior, looking. Sees Sam Smith. Sam Smith back out to Annie Shine. Annie Shine out to Weissman. Weissman to Phoebe Merriman. Merriman to Quinn Rothwell. Good ball movement by Tamalpais. On the inside to Annie Shine, and Annie Shine with a great shot in the low left. So 18 Hawks and 1 goal for the Bulldogs. So Ruby Joe back on the field for the Bulldogs. And she's in the face-off circle. Opposing Maggie Griffiths. Sam Smith and Annie Shine on the outside of the circles for the Hawks. And a good face-off. Smith recovers. Smith to Shine. Shine looking. Shine out to Lillian Flynn on the outside, on the right outside of the goal. Back to Annie Shine, and back to Sam Smith on point. Smith at her 12-meter, looking around, passes out to Phoebe Merriman on the left. Merriman to Weissman in X, behind the goal. Weissman to Flynn. Flynn out to Griffiths. Griffiths out to Shine. Shine passes it to Quinn Rothwell, and back to Phoebe Merriman in the crease. Out to Weissman. Weissman to Smith. Smith back to Weissman on the inside. Almost. Smith back to Griffiths. Griffiths out to Flynn. Flynn to Rothwell in X. Flynn moves it a little to the other side and out to Merriman. Merriman out to Shine. And that was Shine on the inside for a goal for the Hawks, so it's 19-1. On the outside track of the field here today, we've got the Tamalpais High School track and field team in their spring training. Now we have Maggie Griffiths in the face-off circle, and we've got Mary Healy, number 15, for the Bulldogs, taking the face-off. Healy's a sophomore. Ruby Job on the outside of the circle this time, and the red call. Oh, Sanderfeld got a penalty call on that on the face-off. So Ruby Job moves it upfield for the Bulldogs. Job fighting through. Ruby's going right towards the goal, and a nice shot by Ruby Job, and so is it no goal? Waiting for the referee's determination here. And Sanderfeld got it in the center of the field. I'm not sure what the call was, but Ruby Job takes it. And she is up in front and right. She passes it to her teammate, Lucy Tanner. Tanner working it on the outside. And that was to Francesca Sandiego. Job on the outside. Oh! And Olivia Ford had it for a moment, but Weissman knocked that out of her net. And, oh, I'm sorry, that was Andy Kelly. Excuse me. Across the middle to Lillian Flynn, and Flynn puts it in. That was a very nice assist by Shelby Capetta. Excuse me, that was Graciela Hale on the assist. Piper Pomeroy back on the field for the Bulldogs. And she was relieving Olivia Ford. Healy and Griffiths in the face-off. Griffiths won the face-off. She moves it forward, passes it to Palmer, and Palmer with a goal over the left side. So a nice goal for the sophomore, Emma Palmer. We're still waiting for distinction from the referee on the field as to whether that one goal that Santa Fe scored, it was Ruby Job, counts in regards to the penalty, so we'll get clarification. So it's either 21-1 or 21-2, and we will clarify that for you. Healy and Griffiths again in the face-off circle. It goes to the outside after a TAM win, and Sam Smith sees it. Gets it into her net and passes it to her sister, Maddie Smith. Smith out to Palmer. Palmer outside to Waters. Waters outside to Hale. And now Rothwell coming around on the left side. She passes back out to Sam Smith on point. And Smith to Griffiths. Griffiths out to Stella Waters. Stella Waters to X, where Graciela Hale was located, out to Rothwell. Back on the outside, Palmer. Palmer back to Sam Smith on point. Smith to Smith. Maddie Smith passes to Stella Waters, who's in X. To Graciela Hale, to Griffiths, back out to Palmer. Now Quinn Rothwell fighting for the ball against the Bulldogs. And the referee makes the call. The penalty goes to Tamalpais. Quinn Rothwell, the senior, taking that. She passes it back to Maggie Griffiths. Griffiths back to Sam Smith. Sam Smith on the left side, working it towards Stella Waters. Waters back to Maddie Smith and X behind the Sanderfeld goal. Out to Quinn Rothwell. Out to Emma Palmer. And Palmer back around to Hale. And Stella Waters. Waters to Smith. Smith to Smith. Sam Smith with a pass to Emma Palmer, but it gets away from Tamalpais and goes out of bounds. And Cadence Ardell tries to get it back into the field to play for Sanderfeld, but Tamalpais puts up some tough opposition and gets the turnover, and it returns to Tamalpais' possession. They go back to passing around the exterior. Rothwell to Smith, Smith to Smith. Griffiths out to Palmer. Palmer out to Rothwell. Rothwell to Hale. Oh, I'm sorry. That was Waters to Hale. Hale to Rothwell. Rothwell back to Hale. Got it. Graciela Hale back to Quinn Rothwell. Hale looking to come around. She comes around in front of the goal. Well defended by Sanderfeld. Rothwell had a little bit of open space, but the Sanderfeld defenders turned her away. And now she's back to Graciela Hale. Goes on the inside, and that was to Stella Waters. Stella puts it in. So the score is we just did confirm with the referee that penalty that Sanderfeld drew and returned to the circle did count as a goal by Ruby Job. So we do have a score of 22-2 here, and there's a timeout. So the coaches, Coach Burnett circling his Bulldogs in their proud red and white uniforms out on the field right now to have a little consultation and a little conference. And Coach Spray does the same with her Tamalpais Hawks. So we are on a rising tide here at Richardson Bay, but we will be an hour behind where we were yesterday, so it looks a little lower. Excuse me, where we were on Tuesday. We'll be 2 hours behind that now. So the Hawks redistribute onto the field, and San Rafael will follow with their cheer. As we see the girls in red spread out on the field, and we'll be back in play here pretty shortly. It looks like Kaylee Morris, the senior, and Ruby Job, number 24, for the Bulldogs, will be once again in the face-off circle. And on the outside for the Bulldogs this time, it's Jasmine Luria, number 18, and Tenley Bravelli, number 10. On the outside for the Hawks, it's all about the Smiths. Sam, the senior, and Maddie, the sophomore. And Tamalpais wins it. It hits the ground. Morris tries, and then Maddie Smith picks it up. She distributes that to Quinn Rothwell and out to Emma Palmer on the outside. Palmer goes to X. She was passing to Zodi Newlight, but it gets away from Newlight, but it was not touched, so the Hawks will maintain possession. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Stand corrected. It turns over to San Rafael. And it looks like Francesca San Diego bringing it from the end line for San Rafael. She goes in front of her goal. It's a bit of a dangerous play. She encounters some pretty fierce defense, and it looks like San Rafael will get that call. So once again, San Diego bringing it across. She comes to midfield, looking for help. There's Tamalpais defenders all over Francesca San Diego, and it looks like she drew another call. So Tamalpais not allowing too much movement by the Bulldogs. And there's Ruby Job, and here she goes. And she's surrounded, but she gets it out. And Tenley Bravelli moving it for the Bulldogs, looking for open space. Oh, I'm sorry, it's Cadence Ardell. That's a mistake. Cadence Ardell twisting around, looking for open space, trying to do all she can to stay away from the Hawks. And a great save by Ella Murphy. Murphy clears it. It's a high pass. It goes over the stick of Maddie Smith. Quinn Rothwell picks it up on the outside. And you can see a little bit more defense on the San Rafael Bulldogs right now. So Rothwell coming way back and clears it out and sees her teammate, Sophia Constant. Constant clears it up the side to Zoe Newlight. Newlight on the far right outside. She's twirling around. Moving around, good rotation, and moves the ball forward. And she gets it to Graciela Hale, who goes to the X position and calms it down for the Hawks. And now they're going to distribute around the outside. Sam Smith there in the quarterback position. Her sister Maddie to the right of her. Quinn Rothwell on the left. Graciela Hale behind the goal. Hale comes out, sees Quinn Rothwell on the left side. Rothwell back to Sam Smith. Smith waiting. And out to Emma Palmer. Palmer out to Newlight. Newlight moving around. Looks like she wants to get to the goal. She throws it in, but a great save by Natalia Davidson. Natalia clears it out into a crowd. Ruby Job was the intended target, and she got bounced a little bit. Back to Tamalpais and back to distribution. Sam Smith, Kaylee Morris, Maddie Smith. Maddie looking to go on the inside, but nobody open. Back to Sam Smith. Sam Smith on the inside sees Quinn Rothwell, but Rothwell comes to the outside past the 8 and the 12, so back out to Maddie Smith. Maddie Smith sees Emma Palmer behind the goal. Back to Graciela Hale, and she's in X, but she comes forward. Oh, ball falls out of the net. Hale quickly recovers. And now back to Sam Smith. Smith to the outside, sees Newlight. It gets away from Newlight, and it's picked up by a San Rafael player. That's Lucy Tanner. Tanner tries to move it forward and draws a foul. So Tanner will be moving it forward. And Tanner throws it, but it gets intercepted by Emma Palmer, but the referee blows a whistle. I think that Tanner was in the wrong position, and she takes it up the field. Outside is Cadence Ardell, and Ardell taking the ball from the sideline. She does a nice spin around Maddie Smith, and Ardell moves it up forward. Again, spinning to the outside, and I think Ardell draws another foul. So Sanderfell moving it out, and it falls out of Ardell's net, but there's a whistle. It's back on the mat and back in Ardell's net. So Cadence Ardell moving the ball forward for Sanderfell. And there's Ruby Job, number 24. And it gets out of Ruby Job's net. And Ruby Job going for the score. And Ruby Job draws a direct foul for the Bulldogs. Cassie Kelly, senior for the Hawks, now on the field. Ruby Job with the penalty. Ella Murphy set. Woo! And Ruby Job put a hard effort into it, but there was a lot of defenders by the time she got to the net. And I think she's going to get another penalty. Okay. And Ruby Job will get another call. And another direct penalty for the Bulldogs, number 24, Ruby Job. Job towards the goal. Oh. And Ruby Job's drawing another foul. And she scores over the right shoulder of Murphy, so a nice goal for Ruby Job. So the Bulldogs with their third goal. So the score is 22, Tamalpais, and Sanderfell 3. Piper Pomeroy coming off the field for the Bulldogs. And out on the field comes Sophia Singaris. Now Piper Pomeroy back on the field. And Ruby Job getting a little bit of a breather after that tough run of consecutive penalties, but she was rewarded with a tough goal in the end. Tough play by the Bulldog. Now in the face-off circle, we see, I believe, Kaylee Morris for Tamalpais. And I'll identify the Bulldog player here in a minute. That was Sarah Martisic. Hawks win it, and Morris grabs the ball, and she distributes out to Palmer. On the far right, Palmer goes out to Graciela Hale. Hale into the X position. And that looks like Hexamer. Hexamer to Rothwell. Rothwell to Morris. Morris to Palmer. Palmer to Foskett. Foskett to Hale. To Hexamer to Rothwell. And out to Morris. Zadie Foskett passes to Kaylee Morris. It gets away, but Morris chases it and recovers it before it goes out of bound. And in comes Sam Smith. A calming presence when the ball is in Sam Smith's net. Smith to Morris. Morris to Rothwell. Hexamer and X. Back to Rothwell. Out to Hale. And inside to Sam Smith. Hard shot. It bounces over. And Tam keeps possession. Hexamer to Rothwell. Rothwell to Hexamer. She's right behind the goal. Back to Rothwell. Oh, a nice 1-2, but it gets out of Rothwell's net. Hits the ground, and Sanderfeld gets the call. And Sarah Martisic brings it up for the Bulldogs. Martisic passes it, and a good pass. We see a collision there. Yeah. And Jasmine Lurio was going for the ball there, and there might have been a little bit of a body connection there, so the Bulldogs get the foul. She passes it out to Cadence Ardell. Ardell moving across the middle of the field for the Bulldogs. Splits 3 or 4 Tamalpais players, a 5th and a 6th maybe. Ardell is on a mission. And now she's looking to distribute to a teammate. She does. It's on the ground, but Sanderfeld recovers. And that's Francesca San Diego. San Diego. Back to Jasmine Luria. Has it. She passes it back to X. And in X was Olivia Ford. Olivia Ford passes it up for the Bulldogs to Tenley Bravelli. Bravelli has it. She moves forward. Oh, the ball falls out. And the call goes to the Bulldogs. So Tenley Bravelli at her 12-meter line. She brings it in. Oh, she tries to get through the mass of Tamalpais defenders. And Tenley Bravelli is awarded with a shot foul. Tenley Bravelli, the sophomore for the Bulldogs, with a score. (22-4) for the hard-earned goal by Tenley Bravelli. And that is game. As the sun comes out for the first time this afternoon, that is final as the teams rush to appropriately congratulate their goalkeepers on their bravery for standing in the net during this sport. And I think a particular nod goes out to the goalie for Sanderfeld, Natalia Davidson. A busy day for Natalia. There were probably as many saves as there were sacrifices, so it should be noted. I want to compliment both programs. This was obviously a tough match for the Bulldogs, and but the Bulldogs maintained a high level of sportsmanship throughout the game, regardless of any frustration they may have felt on the outcome. So that is a great tribute to Coach Jeremy Burnett and his club for maintaining sportsmanship throughout this match. And equally, Taylor Spray and her Tamalpais Hawks were showing sportsmanship throughout the match. And so that is the important message here today. But a final score, 22-4, the Hawks over the Sanderfeld Bulldogs. The match of the founders, we'll call it. These are the first two high schools in Marin County, number 1 and number 2, and a well-played match. And we're going to say farewell from the Hawk's Nest and TAM TV. Thanks for joining us today all over the world. And again, thank you to our supporters, TAM Boosters and the TAM High Foundation. And you wouldn't be hearing me or seeing any of this if it wasn't for our outstanding technical crew. We've got Zach Naderman. We've got Iona Scobie, Karen Smith, and Derek Scobie. Thank you. And Kristen Merriman on the scoreboard.